telling me I really need to tell you this right now because it makes me feel like my heart is about to like pound out of my chest. Like I got this butterfly anxious feeling. There's another opportunity that's coming your way end of January. So you need to watch for that. It's a business opportunity. And I know that's where you've been solely focused right now. So make sure you're looking into that other opportunity. And it's okay to walk away from other ones that aren't working. Okay. But I will see you in a few weeks because I know that you're coming. Let's jump into some of these 2019 predictions. So let me kind of explain how I do predictions. Everyone does these a little bit differently. I basically look at my predictions all year long. So I will show you. I have papers. There's about 4 pages of things that I've been writing down for the better part of the year. And I kind of scanned through them in the last few days to kind of see and ask Spirit if there's something that is still worth talking and sharing. When people make predictions, I always like to throw this out there because I think it's really important. Predictions are just that. They are predictions. It does not necessarily mean that everything will happen or happen at the exact same time. You yourself influence everything from your own life and everyone else's life as well. So when people talk about wildfires and praying for an answer, so the more people who pray, honestly, it stops it quicker. So just kind of know that how we all influence these predictions. Things can happen sooner. They can happen longer. They may not happen at all. We can prevent things. We can bring things. It's all in what intention we set. So let's kind of get started with some of these. I have quite a few. We'll get through as many as we can, but I'm hoping that you guys will find these as interesting as I do. So I'm going to start here with the U.S. because that's where we are and there's so much that's happening here right now. Let's talk politics. That seems to be the number one thing everyone wants to know about right now as far as politics, economy, and everything kind of goes one in one. I've been asked this numerous times in the last 2 years. Do I think that the president will be impeached? I do not. I do not see him being impeached. Though I do think there will be attempts. So don't mix that up there. I do think there'll be attempts, but I don't think he's honestly going to be impeached. There's something about what he's doing right now that is bringing positive. And even if you like him or you don't like him, whatever side of the fence you fall on, he is bringing awareness. Even by not knowing what he's doing, he's bringing awareness to so many different things where maybe we would have just tolerated it before and we're not. So that's a huge reason why he's here. And I think that is going to continue. They are saying, though, his health is not great. So watch for something. It feels like September to me, feels like early fall. His health is not great. It is not anything crucial. It's something very minor, but there's something there that he needs to address. And if he takes better care of himself, that's obviously one of those things that he will be affected with. People ask me if he will get another term. As of right now, I kind of feel like he will. I know not everyone's 100% happy with this. So once again, you can influence this with your thoughts and whatnot, but don't put negative things out into the universe. If you don't want him to be president, put out there something that is more positive, maybe somebody that you want to run or be president. Joe Biden is not running, though, by the way. I know people had asked me if he was going to be running. He is not. And I don't think Oprah is going to run either. There's a huge humanitarian push that she's doing, even more so than where she has been before. And I feel like she's going to get some type of a big award in 2019 for that. Another thing, sticking with politics here, I do think that we are going to see another Supreme Court justice leave the bench. I feel like it's health-related issues. My bet, just based on what I'm hearing and what I'm seeing, I'm kind of thinking it's Ruth Bader Ginsburg. I don't know 100%, but that's kind of where I'm leaning more towards. So if you do follow politics, if this is something that is big for you, know that there is probably going to be another seat open in 2019. Let's look into the economy right now because politics and the economy seem to tie so much together. This has actually been a fairly good year here in 2018, maybe not for everybody, but as a whole, we seem to be doing pretty okay. Next year, I feel like is going to be more of the same. It's more of that upswing. We're going up, up, up. We're tracking up. So know that that's going to be something where we are still going to be in a good place, but there are changes coming. So as I tell you that with everything good that happens, where we have positive, we also, where you go up, you also have to come down. It feels like the end of 2019 into 2020, we are going to come down a little bit. It doesn't feel like a recession where people start to worry about money and panic. I don't want anyone to do that because it does not feel that way. But no, there's an ebb and flow with things. And so when we have a lot of good things that happen, know that eventually something is going to kind of bring it down a little bit. And I think we're going to see that at the end of 2019 going into 2020. With that said, the stock market, a lot of people have been talking about the stock market, especially in the last few days. It's going up and it's been going down. We are still going to see that next year. Okay. Once again, when it goes up, it has to go up. And when it goes down, it has to go down. That's kind of where we're at. I wouldn't get too worried about it because I feel like people are going to do fairly well with that. And they're telling me now I need to talk about gold. So if you are someone who invests in gold, gold is going to be a hot commodity next year, maybe more so than it has been in the past. So just kind of watch out for that. One other thing that I particularly love, because this affects myself as well as several people I know, the rise of small business. We have seen that a lot this year in 2018. We're going to see it even more into 2019. And in what they're making me feel is like into 2020. We see a lot of people that are kind of moving away from the larger scale businesses and moving into what they want to work on their own. They don't want to have a boss. So you're going to see a lot more of these mom and pop shops opening up small business. My advice to you would be to support them, because if you have a goal and a dream of wanting to have a small business, you want people to support you. If you can support them, please do so. And I believe this I've heard over and over again. I know we are on track to get there. This isn't necessarily 2019, but it's more 2020. And this 2019 gets wrapped up into it. We are going to have more products made here in the US. So no matter how you feel about that, as long as people are working, and I think people will be working in 2019, there's going to be a lot of work to go around for a lot of people, no matter who you are. Okay. But there's going to be a lot of products being made here in the US again, which is a good thing. As we're talking about companies and small business and big business, they want me to bring up Amazon. Amazon is a huge giant, right? We've all probably purchased from Amazon. We are a frequent shopper to Amazon. It makes our life easier, right? So Amazon has some big things coming in next year from what I'm hearing and what I'm feeling. They are growing. It feels like they're merging, like they're taking over something, almost like how they took over Whole Foods. I feel like they're going to be taking over another large corporation. And to me, it has something to do with technology. So it's going to be even bigger than Alexa is what I'm feeling. But also with this, and they kept showing me this, airplanes. So I'm wondering if they buy their own fleet of airplanes or own way to move product. It's just kind of one more thing for them. And I think that it's going to be really good for their business and it'll help people get their packages quicker. So there are some big changes with that. Let's look at people. Let's look at us as a public and what's kind of going on, at least here in the US. I kind of feel like we're already starting to see it in 2018. I know this personally, it's touched my own family, but I think that we are going to continue to see this through the next, they're saying 2022, gradual steps, but you're going to see the minimalist movement. You're also going to see the homesteader movement, if I could speak correctly today. We're seeing kind of a return back to community, a return back to small community, being more self-reliant. Those are all things that are really important and things that I think you're seeing within small communities, and they're growing. So if you have an opportunity to support the urban gardens in large cities, please do so, because they are one way that urban cities are able to kind of have some of that connectedness. There's also a lot going on from unplugging from social media. So some people may have already done this, or they do it in periodic time frames. There's going to be a huge movement to kind of unplug within social media toward the end of 2019 and into 2021, people not being as reliant as what they currently are on social media, which, whether you're on it a lot or you're not, there's a lot of valuable information that can be there, but there's also a lot of valuable time that is spent there where it could be also spent in other places. While we're talking about social media really quick, I want to bring up Facebook. I know we are on Facebook right now. Facebook is great. It's a way to talk, but it makes me feel like there's going to be a lot of people moving away from Facebook mid-year in 2019, because I think that Mark Zuckerberg is actually attempting to create something that's kind of like Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat all in one. And he's kind of recruited some of the best people to do this from what I'm hearing. And I think that we're going to start hearing about this like April, May, and it's going to move forward into the end of 2019 into 2020. So I'm interested to see what that looks like for him. He's always thinking, he's always creating something new. So that's pretty great. As we're talking about social media and technology, let's talk a little bit about technology that's coming. Robotics in healthcare is going to continue to be a big thing next year. Huge push, huge. I think we're already seeing this. I don't tend to follow the news a whole lot, but I feel like this is already in the news. Huge push for space exploration, more money being allocated for it, and more things kind of coming from it. So know that we're going to be hearing a lot more about space exploration next year and all the way through the end of 2020. So I don't know if there's important missions, things that are going to be happening, but that's also important. Let's talk a little bit about, one more thing they want me to talk about. They're telling me don't move forward. For anybody who remembers the Nextel telephones, cell phones, I think we're going to see Apple is what I'm thinking is going to create this. It's how it feels to me, where we have like these walkie-talkie type of communication cell phones that even work when signal is down. So be watching for that. If you are a huge Nextel fan, I think that you will love that. I know I personally loved my Nextel and was so sad when it went away. So I think we're going to start seeing these cell phones that also have walkie-talkies on them again. Look for Apple to be doing something with that. Let's talk about health really quick. I have a feeling, and I've been feeling this for a number of years, it's been building up since about 2017. We are going to see, they're telling me that we're going to essentially isolate a gene or find a reason for why people are getting multiple sclerosis and or Parkinson's, two very interrelated diseases, but things that are very different from one another. So watch for that, because I think as soon as we can kind of isolate the gene, multiple sclerosis touches a lot of people, especially here in the Midwest, especially women. And so they're trying to figure out where that kind of comes from. And I think next year they're going to get it. I don't think they're going to get a cure for it, not yet. In mid-20s is what I'm hearing for that. But if they can isolate the gene or the chromosome, wherever it's coming from, it'll kind of give them a head start as to where they're going. Let's talk weather. So here in Michigan, we're having some great weather right now. It's actually, today it was like 50 degrees. And if you know Michigan, you know that that is not normal for December going into January. But I've been telling people were really worried with the Farmer's Almanac that it was going to be this horrible winter. And I kept saying, it's going to be fine, don't worry. And now we're seeing it. I am concerned, a couple of things I need to talk about. California. Next year, I know we had a lot of mudslides and we had a lot of fires in California, but there is something in California that keeps drawing my attention, and they're drawing my attention north. So do I think that the mudslides and the fires are going to continue? I do, unfortunately. So let's make sure we're sending out positive energy to that to maybe help avoid that from happening or make it less than where it is. But they're calling my attention to the San Andreas Fault. So that is in Northern California. And they're making me feel like there's going to be a large earthquake up in that area at some point in time next year. Feels mid to me. And so really watch out for that, because it's not just going to affect Northern California. I feel like it's going to go all the way up and be felt all the way up into Washington. So when I ask as far as scale, it makes me feel anywhere between 7 and 9. So really watch out for that, especially for everyone living in California, and try to send love, light, prayers that way, because we don't want anything negative to happen to anyone there. Florida, I keep hearing about Florida. Obviously, Florida gets hit by a lot of hurricanes. I feel like they're going to have a lot of category 1s, which is nothing new to them. But they're telling me that we need to watch out for flooding, which to me, the way the map looked when they showed it to me was the eastern side of Texas up into New Orleans, Louisiana area, and then the western side of Florida. So we need to look out for flooding. I do feel like we are going to get hit with one major hurricane, so not a 1 in that area. So if you live in that area, just kind of watch out for whatever reason. They're telling me that we need to talk about that and the flooding in those areas. Okay. Other than that, the weather, it feels very up and down. It feels very up and down here in Michigan. And I kind of feel like that everywhere, where we're seeing very mild temperatures in different places. So kind of look out for that. And this is always the best part, where we get to the celebrity predictions. I don't have too many of those because I try not to focus too much on those, but let's talk a little bit about this. Everyone always wants to know what the best movie is going to be, whether it be the Oscars or whatever show, award show is out. I keep hearing over and over again, A Star is Born, and look for Lady Gaga to be a surprise upset in that award category where she may win Best Actress. I feel like there's someone else who is kind of a shoo-in, and it makes me feel like she is somebody who's going to be upsetting to them. But good luck for her. We hope she wins. I do see Meghan Markle having her baby obviously in the spring, but I feel like she gets pregnant again very soon after. And I do feel like Kate and William are going to have another child as well, pregnancy this coming year. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll get to the rest of the predictions next week. I hope you guys have an amazing week off. Enjoy your new year. Make sure you set your New Year's intentions. Thank you so much for joining in.
I'm Jenny, and thanks for watching Moonstruck. And now back to A1R on the air, Psychic Talk Radio now on Moonstruck TV and Lightning Television.
Hi everybody, I'm sorry for the delay. So usually when Dave would call me like the past 2 weeks, I'd use my really good computer, but then something would go wrong, so I'd have to switch to my old computer. So today I decided to go with my old computer, but the voice, I guess the microphone isn't working all that well today. So I do apologize for the wait, but thank you for your patience as always. Oh, right, I forgot to tell Dave. I'm going to have to remind him and I'll message them. But this is actually I won't be live next week as I'm traveling next week. So this is the last day until, the New Year? Is it the New Year? I can't remember when New Year's is. Anyways, so before I forget, Merry Christmas and Happy Hanukkah and Happy Holidays to whatever you celebrate, whatever you believe. Winter solstice is coming up on December 21st. And for those of you that don't know, not only is this a really, I love winter solstice. I think it's actually a really cool time. But for me, I've always forgotten when it was exactly. So I'd always miss celebrating it. But I get to celebrate it this year. But what's really cool about this year is there's a full moon at the same time. So this is an incredibly special winter solstice. I found out, I wanted to do some research. I was teaching a class about winter solstice and everything. And I have a course called 52 Weeks with Sarah Manning. And I teach a different thing every week. And this week I decided, hey, I'm going to learn about some winter solstice. So they're going to learn about winter solstice. And what I found out was since they started recording, keeping track of moons and dates, since 1793, there has only been 10 full moons on winter solstice. So I think that it is so cool that we get to have a full moon in our winter solstice this year. So do something special. It's about, releasing the, actually, and the other thing I found out was back in ancient days or ancient times, however you want to word it, this was actually their new year. And the reason why is because on December 21st, so this year it's December 21st, it's usually on the 21st or 22nd, but this year, thanks, Dave. This year, so it's on the 21st, and oh man, I totally had something I was going to say and I can't remember what it was. Well, it must not have been very important. Sorry, my dogs are coming in and out. What I was going to remind you, yeah, that's what New Year's. So usually they celebrated New Year's now because the 21st is the shortest day of the year, and then they continually get longer. But when the Romans came in, they changed it to January 21st. Or January 1st, 21st. So I thought that was really interesting to learn. That's one of the reasons why I love teaching, because not only do you guys learn stuff, but I learn stuff. So I'm excited to say that we have oh wow, look at all the A's. April in Anniston, Alabama. Hi, April.
Hello.
How you doing?
Good.
That's good. You sound nervous. Don't be nervous. It's okay. If you're nervous, that's okay. I understand. It's a little interesting. Hey, is this the first time you've ever had a connection from a psychic medium before?
Yeah.
Okay, totally get the nerves. It's okay. So as I was shuffling your cards, one of them just flew out, and that always happens to me. So I just have to go get it. 1 second. Okay, so we have the slow and steady card. Excuse me. April, do you have a hard time really expressing yourself emotionally and your truths and everything? Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, it does.
Okay. No judgment. I have had to work really hard at doing that, and I totally understand that. How I knew that was as soon as I connect to you, I have a hard, that's why I was coughing, because it was oh man, it's hard to get things out. But this is what I want to remind you, is that everything you say and every viewpoint that you have is valid because it's yours. You don't need validation from anybody or anything because you have way more worth than what you believe. But remember, there's people in your life that would miss you terribly if something happened. And, they would, and it's interesting because I'm like, even as I say that, I feel like you deal a lot with not only anxiety, but you feel a lot like you are alone. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And by the way, if I say anything that doesn't make sense to you, go ahead and tell me. That's okay. I'll just try to explain it better. I'm okay with with that. But I want to go back to the slow and steady card because I want to remind you that change happens in small increments. It doesn't happen overnight. We have to build for that. Now, as I say, it doesn't happen overnight. Some people are like, oh, but I changed overnight. And it's like, okay, you may have had a massive shift overnight, but the steps to get there were the slow and steady thing. And it's interesting because I keep wanting to remind you, sorry, April. April, do you it's interesting because I keep wanting to say, you've tried affirmations and you've tried affirmations and manifestations, but it feels like they never work for you. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. It does.
Okay. The reason why they aren't working for you, and I put that in quotations because I want to remind you that affirmations and manifestation does, but if you don't feel worthy of those things, they're not going to come forward. And since you don't have a lot of value for yourself, even your own voice, that can be why that those manifestations and those affirmations that you're trying don't work. So there's not really a trick, but the key to making, let's start with affirmations. The key to making affirmations work is let's say you're standing in the mirror and you're looking at yourself and you're like, April, you are beautiful. And you say that to yourself, but there's a thought in your mind that goes, oh God, who are you kidding? Look at your pudgy cheeks. Look at these wrinkles. Who are you kidding? You are totally not beautiful. You have to address that so-called truth and belief. You have to go, that's my fear talking. And that's what I've been taught to believe by other people about myself. But I choose to believe that I am here for a reason and for a purpose, and that I am a beautiful person because everybody on this earth is beautiful and everybody has a reason to be here. And I really want to remind you of that. And I really want you to understand that nobody is an accident and nobody is a mistake. So, does that all make sense to you so far?
Yes, it really does.
Okay, good. I'm so glad. Now, the thing with manifestation is it's the same kind of thing. Now, listen, April, I want you to know that you are totally not alone in this journey. Before I actually got ready to do the radio show, I was actually working on manifesting and attracting as well. And it's something that I think that's always a work in progress. So when you're manifesting something, you also have to believe that it's already existing. You're simply going to tap into it. I think the best example I have ever heard about how to tap into manifesting stuff is every desire that you have, every dream, every goal that you have is been given to you by the divine. Or the universe. So what that means is it's already existing. It's already there. You simply have to raise your vibration enough to unlock the key to bring it into your reality, or I guess unlock the lock to bring it into your reality. If you think of all your desires as they're sitting in a bank account, and the code to unlock it, to make it your reality, is a tune or a song or a vibration, that's where you have to get. You have to get to starting to vibrate enough and high enough to unlock those desires. So instead of going, I wish I had this, I wish I had this, start going, universe, I don't know how this is going to happen. And I don't know how this is going to become my reality, but I believe that X, Y, and Z are on their way to me. And every time your ego starts going, April, who are you kidding? You can't have that. That's where you go, okay, that's a funny thought. Where did this come from? Who taught me this? Is this actually my truth, or do I get to release it? And then you have the choice as to if you want to let it go, or so you have to let it go. But to let it go, you have to heal it, and you also have to give yourself a new truth. Does that all make sense? Does that all help you?
Yes, it really does.
Awesome. I'm so glad to hear that. Remember, as the card says, it might be a slow process, but it is steady, and you can change your reality. And the other thing I want to remind you is when it looks like your goal is not going to become a reality, that is when it is the utmost important to believe that you're worthy, because that is like, that's true faith. When you're like, I don't know how this is going to happen. Oh my God, it has one day more to happen, but I just trust that the universe didn't give me this goal and desire for nothing. Okay. So that's everything I have for you. I hope it helps you on your journey, and I wish you nothing but the best.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It really did.
You're welcome, April. You're so welcome. Take care and Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
All right, so hey, we have an Edmontonian. We have Cynthia. Hi, Cynthia. How you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
I am doing fantastic, thank you. How's Alberta and Edmonton?
You know what? It's actually really warm for this time of year, so it's nice.
I know. I honestly, like, I still have family up in the area, and my husband posted a picture on the weekend of us having Smokies, and he was like, haha, Alberta, look at BC in December, we're having a fire in Smokies. And everybody commented, still nice here, buddy, too bad. It's funny. Cynthia, I do have a card that's fallen out for you, but has your dad passed?
No.
Oh, okay. No, that's okay. I just have a really strong male figure here for you. Would that be your grandfather on your dad's side? Did you know him?
I did know him, yes.
Okay. Was he a very down to earth, like, honestly, I want to say farmer kind of guy, just like salt of the earth?
Yep.
Oh, that makes sense for him? Okay, perfect. And he shows himself as a taller man. Is he a bit of a taller man?
I think so. I'm pretty short, so I consider a lot of people tall.
Okay. And that's perfect, because what loved ones do is they deal with signs and symbols. So what that means is they kind of look at your memory bank and they're like, ooh, how is she going to refer to me? Or how is she going to remember me? And I'm 5'8", so I consider anything above 5'8" tall. Does that make sense for you?
Yes.
Awesome. He must have been really handy, because I smell WD-40.
I'm not. However, I do have Tiger Balm on right now.
Oh, is it a really like spicy, weird smell?
Pardon me?
Is it a really spicy, like weird, chemically smell? Like, I'm not even sure. I know my mom used it for like ages ago, but I don't remember what it smelled like. It just smells really funny.
Yes. It's definitely a spicy smell.
Oh, okay. Okay, awesome. It's interesting because I keep telling them, I'm like, okay, like, we don't have a lot of time. What do you want to say? And it's interesting because, Cynthia, I feel like you're more intuitive and connecting more than you give yourself credit for. Would you agree? Okay.
I agree, yes.
Because your grandfather's like, okay, honestly, your grandfather's like, I don't need to pass messages on to you. I just need you to tell her that she's not crazy and that she is connecting. I was like, okay, that is what I will do. Does that make sense?
That's awesome. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, good stuff. Now, the card that popped out for you is the Ghostland card. Now, I know it sounds so like creepy, like Ghostland card. What the heck does that mean? But it's interesting because, so So I don't know if you heard the last caller, but she needed to deal with things that were supposedly her truths, but she's trying to decide if they are. And I actually feel like that kind of message with the Ghostland card resonates with you as well. I feel like your past has been like, I keep wanting to say you're almost like you're two-footed in two different planes. Like, it's like you have all these goals and desires and you're like, oh yeah, I totally can do this. And I want to move forward. And I know that this is going to be great. But then your other foot kind of drags along. It's like, yeah, but you weren't successful in the past. And these are the things that you were taught as true. Like, do you feel kind of like you're split a little right now?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to talk to you kind of about the same things. And the thing that is really exciting about our reality and how we live is it is 100%, I'm going to say 100% with conviction, 100% up to you and your desires. Again, our desires are given to us by the divine and by the universe. So if the universe is giving you these desires, they're given to you for a reason. The one that, do you, I don't know if you wear a lot of bracelets or if you're doing something with bracelets, but I keep seeing beaded stuff with you. Does that make sense?
Yes, I actually just started my own jewelry business.
Yay! Oh my gosh, I am so excited for you, Cynthia. I love jewelry. So if you can go to my Facebook page and message me, I want to go look at yours. Do you have a Facebook page or a website showing your products?
Not yet. I'm just starting it, but I definitely will for sure.
Yes, please, because if you ask my husband, he will tell me I have too many, but I have all of these. He's really good about it, but I have all of these bracelets and I love them. So if I know anybody that's starting a business doing it, I try to support them as much as I can. So definitely shoot me when it's up and running, do that. But I think this is really good for you. Like, it's not even a think. I am so excited. I'm so pumped for you. And the one thing I want to remind you is just because there's a lot of people in your industry, that doesn't mean that you don't have something awesome and beautiful to offer. The other thing I want to remind you is when you are making your jewelry and all of a sudden you feel fear creep in where you're like, oh my God, I don't know why I'm starting this. Like, if financially, is this the smart thing to do? I want you to step away from your jewelry making. And I want you to get into the frame of mind that I am being directly, divinely guided for which jewelry to make and how to make it. And the reason why is if you put fear into the energy of the creation that you are making, people are going to pick up on that, and that's going to hold your business back. So anytime you are making anything, do it with love and be like, I don't know who is going to take this bracelet, but I know whoever gets it, they're going to love it. They're going to wear it all the time. It's going to be helpful. It's just going to rock. So then when you keep putting that loving and service-oriented energy into your jewelry, that's how people are going to get attracted to you. So let go of the fear.
Absolutely.
And let go of the past. Okay? So, and it's interesting too, because I keep wanting to say, like, you deal a lot with, I don't want to say self-worth, but I want to say success, like beliefs surrounding success from your past. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So again, what you want to do is not stuff those feelings down. You need to pick them up. You need to really dig deep and be like, okay, why am I feeling like this? Or what am I feeling? Oh, cool. I feel this icky thought. I feel this kind of grungy thought. Why am I feeling like this? Oh, because that person told me I would never be successful. This person told me I would never be smart enough to be able to launch my own thing. And maybe not directly, but with those words, but by actions and their words make you self-doubt. So so when that happens, you kind of dig it up, you look at it, and it's like, you know what? I understand that is your fear for my benefit, and I understand that, but I choose not to believe that fear, and I choose to release it, and I choose to heal the part of me that accepted that as truth. So then once you release it and send it on its way, you're actually making more room in your energetic bubble for blessings, for miracles, for more fun. Oh my God, I want to tell you, when you're ready, I want you to look at like a jewelry making class, or like having people come in and making like malala beads or mala beads. I always say it wrong, but I'm like, you should hold like little events where all of you like get together and start making jewelry together. I think the energy behind that would be really awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Does that resonate with you?
It does. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm so excited. Do you have any questions or anything that I can help you with today as well?
You know what? My question was, I wanted to know if my jewelry business was going to be successful and if I was on the right path, and you already answered that.
That's awesome. I am so excited. I really think, and it's interesting. Like, I want to say, like, start small, but start as big as you are comfortable with, right? So when you're like, okay, make a goal. Be like, hey, universe, I want to sell, I don't know, $500 worth of jewelry this month, right? And then just know and believe that you can do that. And then, or like pick whatever number works for you, but you have to be able, I have to be honest, I'm learning a lot of these theories behind the flow of money and attraction manifestation from not only Gabrielle Bernstein, but also Amanda Francis, two amazing ladies who not only resonate with me really strongly, but they are like manifesting queens. Amanda Francis actually calls herself that. So she's the one that has taught me a lot of the mentality of what you can get behind. And if you can believe that you can definitely be comfortable with making X amount, have that as your goal and be like, universe, I don't know how this is going to come to, I don't know how 100% how this is going to happen, but I know that we're going to do this together. And I know that I'm supported. I know, and I trust that I've been given this number or this purpose for a reason. Does that all make sense to you?
Absolutely.
Yay! I'm so excited. Yay! That's awesome. Well, Cynthia, thank you so much for joining me this evening. It's been wonderful chatting with you. I loved it.
Thank you.
You are so welcome. All right, well, I still have a few minutes. But honestly, like, sometimes you just answer those questions and you're bang on, and Spirit's like, all right, you're good to go. So what I'm going to do, so I still have some time left, and I'm never going to leave dead air as long as I possibly can. Plus, I like to talk, right? Never a shortage of that. Okay, I'm going to give you guys all I love how Spirit works. Okay, I've been doing this for 5 years full time, and it still blows my mind how amazing and how accurate energy and Spirit is. So we were talking about the full moon, and we were talking about winter solstice. So look at the card I pulled. All right, moonlight. So, this is an excellent, so the winter solstice is December 21st. Winter solstice is December 21st. What's really cool is what I found out is that winter solstice, no matter where you are in the world, will happen at the exact same time. So, Christmas Day for us in Western, like in Canada anyways, is like happening, and in Australia it's already Boxing Day, right? So but it doesn't follow calendar times. It's just the exact same moment. So there is a ton of power behind it. It is an excellent, and then the full moon is the following day, right? So make sure you guys sage, clear, whether it's physical stuff, people, thoughts, emotions, beliefs. I truly believe that's why April and Cynthia had messages about clearing out and letting go of beliefs that no longer serve them, right? So full moons are amazing, but it's so exciting to have it on a winter solstice. I'm going to have a big bonfire with some friends. Really cool time to write beliefs of what did not serve you this year, and then burn it away into the universe, and then write in what's going to happen this year, which is for your greatest and highest good, and then burn it away to the universe. So enjoy winter solstice, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, excellent full moon, love and light to all of you guys. Thank you so much. Bye.
Hello and welcome. You're listening to the Modern Mystic Radio Show. My name is Sarah. I'm your host. I will be taking 2 callers today. So I'm looking forward to doing some Christmas reading. So Merry Christmas to everybody. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Today, what I wanted to talk about is really the focus going into 2019. So we've had Christmas Day and